Switch your attitude. Go ahead, level up yourself. This that different latitude. Life too short, don't spoil yourself. Feel that feel, enjoy yourself. Cause we have everything we need. 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 We begin after the storm inside. Switch my attitude. I'm so radical. All these people mad at dude. This for who it matter to. What if Eve made apple juice? You gon' do what Adam do? Or say, baby, let's put this back on the tree. Cause we have everything we need. 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 We begin after the storm inside. And it's just a morning light. I don't wanna be on my phone, but I can't be alone. Welcome to the modern way. I'm trying to be somebody I'm not, but it's not what I want. And tell me there's another way. All of the lights I chased are now faded. All the cheap thrills were only time wasted. Tell me why society's plan should define who I am. Surely there's a higher way. All of my best friends are sick of pretending. We want the truth. So much is missing, so give us the real thing. I know it's you. Na 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 na. I don't want a stereotype to decide who I am. It never knew me anyway. I'm over trying to find the next high, cause the high never lasts. I'ma go another way. All of the lights I chased are now faded. Till it was right, the times they are changing. Tell me why society's plan should define who I am. Surely there's a higher way. All of my best friends are sick of pretending. We want the truth. So much is missing, so give us the real thing. I know it's you. Na 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 na.
I was there on the day that your world changed. You were scared, unprepared for the heartbreak. Everything you knew faded out of you, stole a piece of you. If I could, oh I would be a hero. Be the one who would take all the arrows, save you from the pain, carry all the weight. But I know that you're brave. Fight on, fighter. Don't let anyone steal your fire. Fight on, fighter. The spirit is alive inside you, yeah. There's a part that you hold, that you lock down. Let it breathe, give it wings, set it free now. Time to make your mark, break the prison bars, show them who you are.
Oh, hello! Welcome to This Gen Live. My name is Clay.
I'm Jacob, and it's good to be back.
It's good to be back, and I've got some lovely friends joining us this evening. Can I get a whoop whoop? There's like 12 of us here, so that was about what you expect. It was, hey, I give an A for effort.
A for effort?
A for effort.
A for effort.
Super
They
duper
didn't
A
have to do
plus
anything.
for hanging out with us.
Yeah,
Hey,
right?
before we dive in tonight, got a few quick things for you. First thing is this. High schoolers, focus in real quick. High schoolers, guess what? Next week, if you want, we can be back. Leanna was the only one that clapped in the crowd right now, but hey, we're going to act like all of you guys clapped. We need this to be like a Jimmy Fallon studio audience, like be real excited.
Give us the ooh.
Ooh, right? So, hey, high schoolers, next Wednesday night, if you want to come hang out during This Gen Live, you are free to. But if you can't, or you're like, I don't feel like doing that just yet, that's okay too. We're going to have a full digital experience ready for you online, just like we have over the past few months. So either option is going to be great. We'd love to have you. We have a bunch of protocols in place so that you can be safe as possible.
Yes.
More important than that, I don't know if it's more important, but it's just as fun and just as important.
I'd say it's just
we
as
have
exciting.
changed our camp plans for this summer. Now, because, going to Tennessee, going away for high schoolers, that just seems kind of sketchy at this point. So what we've decided to do is we've decided to throw our own camp. High schoolers are moving their camp to Garden City from June 17th through the 20th. We can't wait. The price is only $100. You can sign up on the app. And the middle schoolers, you might be wondering, well, what do I do now?
No.
Whoa, we've planned what we are calling the 3-night party.
It's
Not
going-
1 night, not 2 night, 3 nights of party.
Night
Okay,
party.
that's going to happen in July. It is going to be the party of the summer. It's going to blow the roof off this place. I can't wait for it.
I mean, I think it's going to be so cool, even the high schoolers are going to want to come.
Oh, they're going to be super jealous. I mean, we're going to have a great camp at high school. Better believe that, but they're going to be jealous. They're going to be jealous. I believe that. So, hey, that's what we got. Now I got to introduce some people that are going to come hang out with us this evening. Tonight we have joining us, we have Jaden Martinez and G. Huggins, Garrett Huggins. Come on, boys.
fellas.
Come on up, man. It is good to see you guys. Feel free to grab a microphone. They're sauntering up here. They're very studly men. How you guys doing?
I'm doing splendid.
Splendid.
Yeah.
Splenda?
Splendid.
Splendid. Oh, nice. Okay.
Good to know, Garrett.
So we're gonna. How are you doing, Garrett?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
Good
Great.
to hear. Good to
Good.
hear.
Good. Because we're about to play a game and it's about to be awesome. And this game is called Banana Stab.
Oh my.
Banana Stab. Okay, so what we've done is we put some trash bags right next to you. Okay, so go ahead, everybody.
Go
Get
ahead
your
and
trash
throw in your
bags on.
trash bags.
We've cut holes for the head portion, but you have to punch out your arms.
Oh, boy. I
Oh,
lost myself.
sorry, that's my mic. All right. Are we all prepared? Come on, Garrett, I believe in you.
I got a big head.
I got a big. It's like, what's that movie? I got a big head and little arms.
Meet the Robinsons.
Meet the Robinsons. Okay. So the game we were playing is called Banana Stab. Everybody's going to have a banana. There you go. Big arms, too. Big manly man. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go against Jaden. We'll do us first. And then, Jacob, you're going to go against Garrett. And could you please pass us the rope, please?
Of course.
So what's going to happen is Jaden in his right hand and me in my left hand, we're going to hold on to the rope. And we are going to have, turn and face the camera, sir. Thank you. We are going to have to peel this banana, and then the first person to stab the other person in the chest with the banana is the victor. Pretty simple, right? Can I get a countdown from the studio audience from 3? Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Go. Oh, wait, I used 2 hands. I used 2 hands. Oh, no. I won. Did you guys go?
Yeah, that was quick.
Well, not bad.
I love me a good banana.
That's pretty good. Okay. Next round.
Next round.
Is it me versus Jacob?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
And there's a loser bracket game that we'll get to in
In
just
just
a
a second.
Oh, give me another banana.
All right. We're going to go right here in the front of the stage. Audience, please count down.
3, 2, 1.
I think I got your armpit. What was it? Studio audience? Who won there?
Thank you, Leanna, for having a very clear and defined voice. Yeah! Woo! All right. Now on to more important matters. Gentlemen, Garrett, Jaden, take the center platform.
You know what? I'm going to take my boy Jaden's spot. I'm going to be a kind human and do this for you, Jaden.
Because we are going to play a game called Egg Roulette.
Oh no.
We originally had a dozen, but for the sake of time purposes, I whittled down the eggs. We have 5 boiled eggs and 1 not so boiled egg. And these two will choose 1 egg randomly.
I kind of knew which one was the right one from placement earlier, so I'm not going to cheat. He switched it
Yep,
up.
stand right beside him.
Face to face. This is a tiny platform, and we are 2 wide men.
So I will open the egg carton. Garrett, you will go first. Do the honors.
You cannot look though. It's just
Can't look.
it's
You
a
just
reach
got to
and
feel around
grab.
for the egg.
I don't feel good about this.
Here you go.
So I can touch him?
Yeah.
Looking you in the eye right now.
This is uncomfortable.
I'll pick this one.
Okay, go for it. Once you
Nah,
pick it up,
I
you can't put it
smashed
back.
it
No,
over
you
Do it against the trash bag.
Chest? Alright, that makes more sense.
Face the
Okay,
camera.
Face the camera.
Where's the, I forgot where the cameras are.
Yeah, there's 1. There's 2. And then there's 3.
Alright, ready? You ready?
Yep. Oh, hard-boiled egg.
Well done.
Hard-boiled egg for the crowd. Oh. Hopefully that wasn't the real one.
Hopefully Stuart's not watching.
Was it really the real one? Stop it. Stop it. I don't believe you. This game just went so much better than I. Can someone on the camera get a shot of that? Who can get the egg? Can anybody get the egg?
Oh.
That was hard-boiled. Oh, hard-boiled eggs stink. Was that really it? Well, I got to do some investigative journalism.
Oh, gosh. You guys can take the trash bags off now. Otherwise, you're going to overeat.
Guys, I tell you what. Moral of the story is, that was the real egg. And I don't know who on our facilities team is watching currently, but would you expect anything else from the This Gen team? No, you would not.
We're
I
sorry.
apologize. There is egg roulette. Good news is there is no loser.
And we're sorry, facilities team.
We just cleaned those carpets too. Oh my gosh! I don't even want to know what the comic box is saying right now. This is not great. I feel like I'm undressing on Facebook Live right now, and I don't like it.
All right. Well, Clay's doing that. We're going to move into our interview.
I'm excited for this interview.
Me too.
Can't go any worse than that game just went.
So, shoot, I've known Jaden and Garrett for way too long. Like, both of you were in Kids Rock when I met you. That's weird. That makes me feel really old.
You are not young anymore, my friend.
No. I turned 25 this year. Anyways.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I cried a lot on my 25th birthday. Well, it was a realization that I can't act like a kid anymore. If I act like a kid now at 25, then it's just sad.
Yeah.
And now it's old.
All right. So, gentlemen, it's no secret that we have been in a quarantine. So, quarantine leads to a lot of downtime. Downtime leads to a lot of binge watching of TV shows and video games.
Indeed.
What is the biggest binge you have ever had?
Like, do you mean like during the quarantine or like ever?
Ever. What's the longest you went like? TV show, you're like, I'm gonna watch like 8 seasons of this show in like 3 days, or like a video game that you just didn't stop playing for like
Well,
a week straight.
during the quarantine, I don't know if you guys know the TV show This Is Us.
Oh,
This is us. That is.
Well,
That's heavy.
on Hulu, they had the entire series on there. So me and my mom quit watching it after a while.
Sarah.
And so this quarantine, we watched every single episode.
Is that show as sad as everybody says it is?
I don't think it's sad, but other people, yeah.
I don't think it's sad. Did anybody out there watch This Is Us? How sad was it?
So sad I cried every episode.
Leanna cried every episode. Garrett?
He doesn't have
I don't want to say
Monster.
I'm a monster. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good quarantine though. Like quarantine binge. I like that. That's a good one.
Jaden, what's your biggest binge?
I can't even imagine Jaden's. I'm afraid.
Over quarantine, me and my buddies played Minecraft for 4 days straight.
4 days straight of Minecraft.
Yeah, and watched 4 seasons of The Office so far.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
See, one of my dudes at the Carolina Forest House, JT, said he watched all of Naruto, or Naruto, however you pronounce it, in like one school quarter. There's like over 600 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
What's the biggest you've gone on, Jacob?
I played the first 4 God of War games straight through.
Ooh, that's a lot of game.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time like I figured out it was this be showing my age a little bit, but like when the first time like Xbox Live got really popular and like then everybody had it, the amount of time that I spent playing Call of Duty World at War was gross. Like I'm telling you, it was like 3 weeks straight of every night until about 4 a.m. Like it was bad.
That's what you do when a new Call of Duty comes out.
You have to. Do you guys play Warzone at all, or
I do.
Are you good at it?
Sort of.
Sort of.
It's like I have 72 wins. Anyways, next question. What is one interesting thing that you've done during quarantine? And no, it can't be the 4 straight days of Minecraft, even though that's pretty cool. Jane's like, dang it.
All right, quarantine interesting. What we got?
Well, I mean, this quarantine I watched This Is Us, so it's not really that interesting.
Well,
Touche.
I don't know how to respond to that. That was the best answer you could have given.
School.
School. It's been great online. What's your if you could do one thing during this quarantine, what would it have been?
One thing?
One thing.
Probably prom.
Prom.
I wish we had prom, because I didn't go to my junior one and then
Ah.
senior one, so
That's a bummer.
yeah, since I didn't get one, but
Yeah.
we all good here.
We'll
I'll
throw
get
you a prom after. We'll throw you a prom after this. Got a lot of ladies in the crowd. You guys are welcome to be his date.
Jill will dance with you, I'm sure.
Or Leanna. Emery will dance with you. She'd love to, right?
Yeah.
But so, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been playing a lot of music, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Tell me about that.
So I wrote like a lot of songs, like ever since sophomore year.
Really?
Yeah.
I did
and-
not know that about you.
Yeah, it's probably up to 40-something songs now. But yeah, I learned how to, I'm getting better at it. So
Yeah.
we now start uploading it to like
Really?
my mom's Facebook.
That is awesome. He just drops this
Casually.
bomb on us. That's okay. What kind of music would you say it is?
It's like my own genre.
Oh, creative man. So I'm assuming you play acoustic with
Yes,
that?
yeah.
Awesome. That's cool, man. That's cool. You don't have to tell us specifically about, how it sounds or necessarily, but what's your favorite song that you've written and like what was the kind of the point of it?
I think my favorite song I wrote was probably, it's a song, it's called I'm Scared. And it's like about this little boy, and he grows up, and it's like he's going through different phases in life, and then like he's with his mom, and he's just saying, hey, I'm scared to do this, I'm scared to do that, and in the final bit of it, it's like his mom's on a deathbed, and he's like, I'm scared if you're gonna leave, like I don't know. Which is on my mom's Facebook.
That song could make me cry
I wasn't ready
right
for
now.
that. Like, that's incredible, but at the same time, it's like, okay, man.
Well done, but also, you monster. I have no emotion. I'm a monster. I didn't cry at This Is Us, but let me write the saddest song of all time. That's very impressive. Garrett, you are a man of many layers. I like it.
That's awesome.
Many layers. Jaden.
Well, I feel very intimidated now, but all I really did was sleep till about 3 every day.
Sleep till 3?
Yeah.
What time you go to bed?
I don't know.
That will explain a lot. If you don't know what time you go to bed, that generally means you're going to sleep pretty late. Okay? Now, you've been playing Minecraft a lot. What's your favorite video game of all time?
Well, from a past Minecraft, but Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. That's a
Classic.
great game. Great game. Okay, one question that I want to ask you guys before we ask like this final question, which will segue us into the teaching time. We just talked about camp just a little bit ago. What's your favorite memory you've ever had of camp?
All of it.
All of it?
All of it. But if I had to pinpoint, it's probably the time I got rededicated because
Oh,
that
yeah.
was, massive for me.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. Can you remind me which year that? I remember the moment, but I don't remember which year that was. Was that 2 years ago? I
I think it was my sophomore year. That was my
Yeah,
first
so
time
you-
ever going, and
Yeah,
it was
that's right. So
awesome.
it had been 2 years ago. Yeah, that was sick. I
very
was so
sick.
pumped about that, and that's what I love about camp. There's just so many great moments like that where there's just great life change. It's really incredible. What about you, Jaden? What's your favorite?
Probably from Camp McCall, whenever we had that challenge
That's
board.
a throwback.
When we had that big challenge board, and I think somebody had like 30 pieces of gum in their mouth at one time.
Oh,
What?
that's right.
Oh, me and Manchester did that one time.
Oh, you did in the office.
Oh,
that was a bad
That
choice.
was brutal. Never
I-
do that.
When I went to that camp, that was the. I think that was the. I was here for like 3 weeks before I went to that camp, and then that's how I got to know all you guys, which is nice. And now you guys are all old and graduating.
I miss
in the next couple
racquetball.
years. Oh,
Yeah.
racquetball was a good time.
Racquetball
You
was
guys
a good
dominated
time.
racquetball. Yeah. So Jacob, what's this third question that we want to ask them?
So, I know both of you guys serve. You serve in Kids Rock, amongst serving elsewhere outside of the Rock. What is your favorite part about serving?
Well, I think my favorite part is it's a lot of stuff that I love about it, but I think my favorite part is connecting with others that serve. So like you get to talk about problems that are going on like in your life, and you have these really good people who are there to pray for you, and that's my favorite part of it.
Wow.
That's good.
Wow.
Mine would probably be teaching the younger kids and connecting with them to the point that they can talk to me for whatever family issues they have or what's going on in their daily lives.
That's good. So, how do you guys grow from that?
Well, you learn a lot from the kids. You learn, one thing, patience, but the other thing, but
Welcome to my life with you guys.
you learn a lot of things from the kids, and you see some of the stuff that they go through, and it's just like, how can I help that? You know?
That's,
Wow, that's really good. What about you, Jen?
I just learned how I can deal with other little kids' problems and how I can try to help them. Like, I think it was my third week. I had already connected with a kid, and he had started talking to me about some family issues that his parents have been going through.
Wow. And what I love about what they just said before we dive into what you said, and this is a great segue into what you're going to talk about, for these last 10 minutes, is that what you guys just said is exactly why we want people on teams. So if you are a middle schooler or you're a high schooler, we want you on a team. And that looks a couple different ways. That could be on a serving team. It could be through a small group from a middle school on Thursday nights, as we normally do, or high school on Wednesday nights. But you said it perfectly. When it comes to serving, you have people that you can connect with, that care about you, ask how you're doing, will pray for you, be invested in you. Like that is what we want from the church. We want every person to get a coach in their life. But then you were talking about how you can help others, right? So it's this beautiful model of other people helping us and then us helping other people. Like you guys literally just laid out exactly how we want our serving teams to work together, and I absolutely love that.
Yep.
It's so cool. And the story that we're diving into today, it heavily involves a guy named Jesus coaching up another guy. So let's talk about that.
So, we're going to be talking about how Jesus uses food to help people get grace. And I think we can all agree, food is amazing. I use food for a ton of different things.
Yep.
You can ask my wife. When I want to apologize to her, I normally don't bring her flowers. I usually bring her chicken minis or
Amen.
Starbucks. Like, if you want to apologize to Chelsea Moreland, bring her Starbucks or Chick-fil-A. She'll probably forget what you did to her. Anyways, but I think eating together is super important because food allows us to have conversations that we otherwise wouldn't be allowed to have. Because not many people are going to get 3 bites into a good meal and then get up and walk away because you bring up something controversial. Like if you took me to Texas Roadhouse and started telling me everything that I'm doing wrong in life, I would just sit there and take it. Like, I'm not walking away from Texas Roadhouse. I just had it last night. Like, it's amazing.
Those bread and those the rolls and the butter.
The cinnamon butter.
You know, like how in the Old Testament they had manna raining from heaven? Same thing.
Yep.
Same thing.
That's modern day manna. But Jesus was the best at using food to his advantage. And he used food to help Peter get grace. And we're going to be looking in John chapter 21, starting in verse 3. But to give you a little bit of context, this is after the resurrection. And we can just pick up where Peter, before the crucifixion, he told Jesus that he loved him more than anything. And he would die for Jesus. And he laid it out there. But then Jesus predicted that Peter would deny him 3 times before the rooster crowed. Jesus knows everything. It came to pass. And when that happened, Peter immediately had a lot of regret, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. And he was carrying that. And that's where we pick up in John chapter 21, where Jesus told the disciples to go to Galilee. So it starts like saying this. Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "We'll come too," they all said. So they went out into the boat, but they caught nothing all night. And I think something real quick that's important to point out is Peter was trying to go out by himself, but his boys, there's 6 other guys there, they're like, "No, man, we're not going to let you go by yourself. We're going with you." And that's a story for another time. And so when we look at that, they catch nothing. They come up empty. But then Jesus shows up on the scene, and he just walks onto the shore. They can't tell that it's Jesus yet. And he says, "Hey, fellas, cast your net out on the other side." And they're like, "Okay, nothing else has been working." So they cast it out on the other side, and of course they bring in 153 fish. I love how specific Scripture is. And immediately John's like, "Hey, that's Jesus. Like, that's Jesus right there." And Peter doesn't hesitate. He jumps out of the boat, and he swims the shore. And I love the scene that it describes here in verses 9 and 10. It says, when they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them, fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. "Bring some of the fish you've just caught," Jesus said. So my imagination begins to run wild with that. Like, just imagine on this beautiful shoreline, powdery sand, crystal clear blue water, rolling hills in the background, charcoal fire, crackling, smell of fish and bread. And if you don't like fish, well, too bad. Anyways, but Jesus is sitting there waiting to receive them. Like, I can't imagine a more inviting visual than that. And that is what grace does. Grace isn't something that we're kind of like, I guess that sounds okay. Grace calls to us because grace is different than anything else that's offered on earth. It's more pleasing to the ears. It's more pleasing to the heart. It tickles the senses like nothing else can. And it calls us. And see, I love that Jesus had breakfast for him because I love breakfast food. Like, Waffle House is the first place I'm going. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Like, once Waffle House opens, I'm going there. And he made it to where they would be comfortable to sit down and have a conversation. But when grace calls us, what it calls us to do might be uncomfortable. And Jesus says this in verse 15. It says, after breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know that I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. I have to imagine this is like that moment where you know you've messed up and like your parents are coming home and you're trying to think of like the perfect response because you know they're going to bring it up. And you're like, "Yep, I got the response ready so they'll know that I like learned my lesson." And you got it like ready to go. And like Peter like shouts it out. But then Jesus follows it up with repeating the question. He says, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know that I love you." "Then take care of my sheep," Jesus said. And in verse 17, it says, a third time he asked him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep." See, Jesus challenged Peter because of Peter's denial. He had to make sure that Peter's words or his actions matched his words. And see, that is what grace then calls us to do, is it challenges us. It's going to challenge us. See, I love that Jesus used Peter's old name, Simon, because Peter actually translates to the rock. What an amazing nickname. And you're given it by Jesus. Like, it doesn't get better than that. But Jesus went back to calling him Simon to go to the root of where Simon came from. And it's kind of like when your mom says your first and middle name, you kind of know that you're in trouble a little bit. Like when I heard Jacob Blees Moreland, I'm like, oh boy, like, what did I do?
Yes, his middle name is actually Blees. Yes.
It's Blees. If you
Blees,
didn't
yeah.
know, now you know. And so, but what often happened with that is when my mom or my dad used my first and middle name, it was to catch my attention and then point out a mistake I made, but challenge me to get better so I wouldn't make the same mistake again. And I believe that's what Jesus was doing here. He asked him if he loved him, and Peter's like, yeah, I love you, Lord. And then I have to imagine the second time, Peter's like, yeah, I love you. And then the third time, it's even more painful for Peter. But Jesus didn't berate him. He didn't yell at him. He didn't bring up the past and call him names or make him feel terrible. He challenged him to make sure that he meant what he was saying. Because Jesus was about to do the third part of grace, which is grace commissions us. Jesus had to restore Peter because Peter made a big mistake. He denied knowing Jesus 3 times. And he had to build Peter up because he was about to send Peter out. And he was sending Peter out to plant a church. Like, Jesus' rescue mission for the world, Peter was going to be one of the ones that started it. And that's a big deal. And see, grace catches our ears and our hearts because it's different than anything else that's offered on planet Earth. It's the most pleasing thing that there is because it doesn't make sense to us. The world doesn't recognize what grace is. But when you get grace and you accept it, it means Jesus is going to come in. He's going to start busting up some old habits. He's going to start busting up some rocks, some things in your life that might be buried deep down, or things that you've done to other people, or things that people have done to you. He's going to start busting those things up. And once he starts busting those things up, he's going to turn you around and send you out to do the same for others. And see, that is amazing to me because it's not going to be easy. It's going to cost us. It's going to cost us to be real with ourselves. Like Clay talked about last week, we have to be real with others and real with ourselves. And maybe that means you buy Chick-fil-A for someone so you can help them bust up the rocks in their life. Or maybe it means you sit down and have some C3 coffee with someone so you can apologize to them because you did something wrong to them. Or maybe you go out and get a steak with someone and forgive them for something that they did to you. Whatever it is, we don't have to live with this regret like this story with Peter shows us. We don't have to operate with regret and shame because Jesus wants that. He wants to take that from us and offer us grace. And that leads to my question is, do you need to sit down with someone to do one of the 3 things? Apologize to them, forgive them, or help them bust up some rocks?
And my question that I would like to ask is, what are some rocks that you need to bust up in your life? Because just like there's some things that we need to forgive people for, we need to apologize to people for, we need to do the same thing in our life. There's times where you need to forgive yourself. And the reason you can do that is because you have a God who's forgiven you. And we're about to go into a time of response. But let me just encourage you as we enter this time of response. 1, if you're new here, I would love it if you texted the word connect to 843-444-2144. And that'd be awesome if you did that. But maybe you're going, man, I want to take this one step forward. I would love to respond to Jesus. And I'm recognizing that just like Peter, I've made some mistakes, and I want to respond to him. Text the word yes to 843-444-2144. And we would love to help you take that step of response in any way that we can. And one of the easiest ways that we're going to be able to do this, and it's just what we talked about earlier about being on a team, is right now we're going to head into some Zoom groups. And those groups are going to be super valuable for you as you are going to be able to connect with some leaders and get some coaches in your life. So if you are a middle schooler or you're a high schooler, please hop in the chat. And if you don't know where to go, hop in the chat, ask where your Zoom group's meeting, like ask for the ID, and we would love to send it to you and get you connected that way. Guys, it's been a lot of fun. It's been good to hang out with everybody once again. I can't believe that egg that I threw was a real egg and not a hard-boiled egg. But I think, what a moment. But hey, tonight's been awesome. We hope that you guys recognize what grace can really do and how grace is calling you and it's challenging you and it's commissioning you. And we're excited about God moving in. That is it for This Gen Live. We will see you guys next week. See ya! Woo!
Don't hide your emotion. You can throw down your guard and feed from the notion we can be who we are. You taught me something, yeah. Freedom is out. It was you taught me living it, togetherness, togetherness, togetherness. I am a giant. Stand up on my shoulders. Tell me what you see. I am a giant. We'll be breaking borders underneath our feet. I'm gonna shake, roll away in the dirt under me, yeah. I'm gonna shake, roll away in the dirt under me, yeah. Gonna shake, roll away in the dirt, yeah. Gonna shake, roll away in the dirt, yeah. Gonna shake, roll away in the dirt, yeah. Gonna shake, roll away in the dirt.
Think about it. There must be a higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is a wasted time. Look inside your heart and I look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk the line and try to see, falling behind what could be. Oh, oh, bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Where's that higher love I keep thinking of? Bring
Okay, to the second letter. Whoa, okay, yeah. Linking on my brain. I got pennies in my name, yeah. Still gon' free the states. Oh my, hey, yeah. Squad like DOJ, yeah. Justice in my veins. We was woke before the phrase. I could quit today, yeah. Happy off the stage. I think I've been overpaid. Hey, you can't censor what I say, yeah. Check my DNA. Coward, that just ain't no trade, yeah. I don't feel no face. My granddaddy couldn't breathe, and his daddy was a slave. He made millions off real estate. Turn your limits to a brain. Put my pride on DOA. I got HG at that A. I watch you go war on tweets, but your profile only changed. Okay, yeah. Southside, yeah. That's where I spend downtime, yeah. I mean it, I don't rap, I check the podcast for the smoke, yeah. I don't wanna fight with trolls, yeah. I just wanna fight with souls. I just wanna be light, you just wanna be right. Okay, yeah. Linking on my brain, might be a bullet in my name, yeah. But I don't go to play, I just, okay. The mission defeated, cause we look more like politicians than Jesus. And where your allegiance, love who you agree with. You put in your party right over the kingdom, no way. Okay, yeah. Linking on my brain, yeah. I'm your navigator, yeah. Wavy the flow, you can take it to go. Sauce in the bag and it's great with a cold. Diddy the bop and I came to revolt. Worthy the land, never stay on the slow. Straight to the coast and I'm straight from the stove. I've been placing the dough without baking the soda. Got graced by the boat, I've been saved by the flow. Joe with the cold, color boy hope. Hey. Okay, yeah. Linking on my brain, yeah. I'm Matthew McConaughey, okay. Linking on my brain, yeah. When they hate like Cain, yeah. I'm too honest, Abe, yeah. I can quit today, I am happy off the stage. I think I've been overpaid, hey. You can't censor what I say, yeah. Check my DNA, coward, ain't no trait, I don't feel no face. My granddaddy couldn't breathe. His daddy was a slave. They made meals off real estate. Turn your limits to more brain. My God is in this place. Ain't no mountain in our way. You not what you tweet. You are what you change. I'm a little hope dealer, jiggy real cold killer, not a fear bone in them and the kids roll with them. We ain't throwing trash out the window. They just say the squad way little. Little hope dealer, it's a real gold ticket, got a real piece giver, it's a field goal hitter. I got the squad in the house. We just tryna fix it and flip it, y'all boys talk. I put on, yeah, like 5 on the dot, go that off. I'm not a star, throw that off. I'ma make this count, no half off. I am just different, ain't talking about money moves. If you can see Kevin's heart, ain't no funny dude. I kept it solid and I got the, I can barely talk. I see what the sun will do, nothing like my daddy. Hope you see me, that's your man's goal. Simba in a Murcielago, lion in a lamb flow. Henny grand dog, get a glance dog. Jesus put it right to left, crossing all you sham gods. All top is a mantle. Van Gogh with your man's on. Stretch tracks like a damsel, hearing a ramble till we go ramble. Ample ammo and I'm out of the pan. Handle the pan is handled. I'm cooking up a plan that can't fold. Fire don't it expire like a can of Campbell's. And if I get this picking, then never pack out the fingers. The father packed up my vision, no matter where my fans go. When I just get about the way my faith flows, I'm coming to making it loud with these holy bank codes. We had the shit way before that queso. State up north like Lincoln. I'm for the union, I'm bleeding. I got the people to free here. Yeah. Kingdom, I pledge my allegiance. Little baby, we got a king here. The anthem is taking a knee here. I'm done. I'll say something for the album. Lincoln